Okay, this is what I. Anyway, we're going to start right here because I've been reading the copyright law. Tongue's wrapped around my eye teeth. I can't see what I'm saying. Anyway, I don't know if I'm going to get sued or not, but my first class without teachers and students, why not? It's worth a shot, right? Uh, with no further ado, let's introduce my American friends to the Prime Minister and his Deputy Minister.
Chief, mate, what do you want to do tonight?
Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
The Pinky and the Brain. And of course, there's this one. Please, my friends, pay attention to his last sentence. And hey, I started out liking the guy too, but I didn't see this. And if you ever wonder why Quebec gets so much extra treatment, well, I'm pretty sure that this will answer your question.
Quebecers are better than the rest of Canada because, we're Quebecers.
Regardez, le Canada fait dur maintenant parce que c'est des Albertains qui contrôlent notre agenda communautaire et socio-démocratique. Ça marche pas.
Est-ce que le Canada est mieux servi quand il y a plus de Québécois au pouvoir que quand il y a plus d'Albertains au pouvoir?
Je suis libéral, alors c'est sûr que je pense que oui. Certainement, quand on regarde les grands premiers ministres du 20e siècle, les seuls qui ont vraiment tenu le coup, c'était des députés du Québec. C'était Trudeau, c'était Mulroney, c'était Chrétien, c'était Paul Martin. Alors, on a un rôle, ce pays, le Canada, est à nous.
I would just like to point out that last sentence again. Canada belongs to Quebec.
Huh, Spike? You want it? Huh? Nah. You wouldn't like that, would you, Spike? Hey, Spike, how about we chase cars, huh? Does that sound like fun? Nah. Yeah, that wouldn't be no fun. How about beating up a cat? Would you like that, Spike? Huh? Would you like that, huh, Spike? Cat?
But there is one thing I know to be true. You cannot opt out of a time of change. As Trotsky said of another turbulent time, you might not be interested in war, but war is interested in you.
Isn't that nice? Willing to send our children to war. See, look, she's right proud of it too. Rather than ceasefire, see why she's doing this? I don't get it. We can't arm our own soldiers, but we can send every little penny to Ukraine. Hey, don't get me wrong, my grandmother's Ukraine. I love her. But I don't want my daughter being upped from the reserve to go fight in a place like that. Hey, pow! Guess what happens next? Hey, check this one out. I bet none of you seen this before, or if you had, maybe you don't have anything you want to own.
Think about it. You live in a property. You work on property. The water you drink has to come through property. But did you know that 3/4 of the world's population do not have property rights and cannot prove ownership of the land they farm or the house they live in? Imagine for one moment you're sitting quietly at home. A man knocks on the door and says he wants to build a shopping mall where you live. You have title deeds, proof of ownership of your house, which means you have a choice: sell and move on, or simply stay put. It's a different story in many parts of the world. In Africa, for example, 90% of land is undocumented.
Here you go. Are you sure you want to say my property rights don't exist for my guns? Well, they don't exist for you either.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thanks to the Honourable Minister. I appreciate his pointing out that we do not have in this country rights to bear arms. I also note that under the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, we don't have rights to property at all. So much of the rhetoric that I see coming against controls on firearms.
You heard that, did you? Not only my guns, your cars, your house, your toys, your life, even your fucking kids can be taken.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
One more time, please.
And thanks to the Honourable Minister. I appreciate his pointing out that we do not have in this country rights to bear arms. I also note that under the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, we don't have rights to property at all.
Rights
so
and freedoms,
much of the rhetoric.
Rights and freedoms.
Enlightened fashion. And there are generally speaking, there are problems with the idea of groups of people in power deciding the history of humanity. In a best case scenario, we are simply supposed to be free to determine our own futures, our own progress, what we want out of life. Now, in this particular case, what they're proposing is a sort of collectivist idea that takes personal ownership out of the equation. The little phrase, and it sounds so innocent, is you will own nothing and you will be happy. Now, if you go back just several hundred years, the founding father and first president of the United States, which was essentially a project founded on the idea of human liberty and freedom, pretty much for the first time in modern history. George Washington said, there is no such thing as personal human rights without property ownership. And he said that for several.
Oh, and look what happens. We can all live together in their wonderful utopia.
All right, Smurfs, gather around. Today, we have work to do on the bridge, so why don't you all get started? And I'll be along in a few minutes.
See, there you go, folks. Even the Smurfs, no property rights. Papa's in charge of it all. And now, just so you can sort of get a little bit of a laugh out of this jokes, I guess. This is the first without my teachers and without my class. Anyway, no further. Here we go. Look, I tell you, if you have never surfboard carried your kid out of a park or a pool, are you really a parent?
Do you remember 10 probably? Do
10?
you remember him around school?
I do. I have a story about him that I'm not proud of.
What? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I was reminded of this. My friend Chris Murray, who was also in the 5th grade in Canada, reminded me that we actually beat up Justin Trudeau.
You beat him up?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I don't know.
The two of you beat him up?
We both beat him up. And I think he was excelling in a sport that we weren't as. So it was pure jealousy.
I see.
And we beat him up.
And his dad was the Prime Minister of Canada?
His dad was the Prime Minister
at that time, right?
I don't think that's the reason we beat him up. I think he was the only kid in school that we could beat up.
Don't they have Secret Service there protecting the children of their Prime Ministers?
They didn't.
They didn't? Wow. Because that would never happen to Barron Trump. You'd be in the stockade right now. You'd be
it's true.
You'd be in Russia somewhere.
Yeah, it's true. But I'm not bragging about this. It's terrible. I was a stupid kid, and I didn't want to beat him up. In fact, I think at one point I tried to turn it into love play.
Well, he is a handsome guy.
Yeah, boy, is he ever.
Yeah.
But I think it was rather instrumental in him going to such great heights and becoming the Prime Minister.
You feel that way?
Yeah, I think it was, I think he said, I'm going to rise above this.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to become Prime Minister.
There we go. Fighting Maybe that's something that he should go back to instead of fighting the people of this country. Look, this is how good he was doing beforehand.
Right on. I am going to hit a homer today. Hey, who's that handsome guy? Hello, 911 emergency. There's a handsome guy in my house. Oh, wait a second. Cancel that. It's only me. Oh, you drive me wild.
Oh.
The Senator, Patrick Brazo, a.k.a. Braz Knuckles. Staring him down in the red corner, please welcome, once again, the pugilist from Papineau, a man who needs no introduction, Justin Trudeau.
Go back to boxing because you sure as hell ain't a very good prime minister. Starting with the women right from the start. Wow, what happened next? There you go. I guess we'll see in, maybe next week, maybe next year. All depends. But if they're going to sling mud, they might as well sling mud at each other. And I think that is the end of my jokes. The end.